Welcome back to They Survival Online. We are in Tula. On our previous episode, we've talked to the survivor base, to Nadezha, and she was sad. And why? Because we have to rescue her son, Gena, because apparently he's trapped somewhere in the nearby city. So we gotta do that for her. So, I think it is the searching for truth. I have to bring a boy's body back to his mother. A very sad mission. It's surprising the way life plays out sometimes. You survive an epidemic, nuclear war, 5 years of starvation and deprivation, and then your life implodes because of some stupid accident. Will that happen to me? I need to find this Vanya who went with Gena and find out in which building the collapse happened. Alright. So we gotta go back to the survivor base and talk to this Vanya guy. Vanya was sitting on the porch and smoking. Within his first few words, I realized that he was slightly drunk. Hey, we haven't had anybody new around here in a long time. Where'd you come from? What hole did you crawl out of? I'm a drifter. Vanya even whistled. A drifter? Not even think there were any idiots left who had walked around the wasteland alone. Well, there are. I want to ask you something. About Gena, right? I saw you visit his mom, but I'm not telling you anything. I've had to tell the story to everyone at least 3 times. I'm sick of this. Well, you have to do it one more time. Vanya laughed and tossed his cigarettes into the bushes. Then he gave me a mocking look. Nasty kid. And what do you wish to know, my lord? Just tell me what building you left him in. A 5-story apartment building next to some garages in an apartment on the 3rd floor. What is it to you? I want to bring Gena's body back to give him a decent burial. Vanya chuckled again. So what? You're seriously going to go all the way to Novomoskovsk for a corpse? The young man went quiet and then gave me an intriguing look. Listen, drifter, I've got an idea. Let's go to my place. I brought some liquor back from Novomoskovsk. The label says Bryanskaya. Have you heard of that brand? Only trouble is, I've got nobody to drink it with. There are only women here. How about thanks some other time? What? And you call yourself a Russian? Alright, so we know where that is, where Gena is. Alright, let's get out of here. So, now I know where to look for Gena's body. I better hurry before the rats or other scavengers get to it. And the idea of showing a mother her son's mutilated corpse, nah, I'll pass on that particular pressure. When I get there, I'll have to dig the body out of the rubble. I should bring a crowbar and a shovel. Alright. Well, first, I need to get some more gasoline right now. Oh man, I am in need of gasoline. Okay, let's pick whatever I can. 23, that's good enough. So I have a crowbar and a shovel. Perfect. Alright, let's get it going. Alright, I'm going to be traveling on the water. Let's go in. A mother's request. If the survivor dies during the text quest, the quest will restart. Oh, we need clean water. We have clean water, didn't we? And sterile bandit 5 and clean water 2. What? Oh, I didn't bring any water? Oh my god, I just wasted like more gasoline that I need. Alright. So, get some water. Totally forgot to get some water, man. There we go. Some bandages. Let's get that. Alright, let's get going. Alright, let's do this! Let's start. I made my way through the dusty entrance and up the stairs. On the third floor landing, I encountered a pile of concrete rubble that almost reached the ceiling. A lone place of steel pipe was sticking out of the pile, and the corridor beyond was blocked by a cracked flooring slab from a floor higher up. A large hole gapped in the ceiling above me. I shone my flashlight up and could make out the cracked ceiling of what must have been the 5th floor. Similar cracks snaked along the plaster on the 3rd floor. The rubble was more imposing than I expected. It was going to take several hours to clear a path using crowbar or shovel, and that was being optimistic. I surveyed the cracked wall distrustfully. The load-bearing wall behind the rubble was missing. I'll have to work very carefully if I don't want the building caving in on my head. Over 3 hours passed before I managed to get past the barrier. The muscles in my arms were aching with fatigue. I'm in a hallway with broken concrete pile up half a meter high. There are 3 apartments here. One of the doors is open. Maybe Gena was here. Maybe he still is. Let's search the apartment. I found Gena's body in the kitchen. Poor kid. Chunks from the walls and ceilings were piled on his torso. I listened and heard a low, whistling sound. He was breathing. The kid was still alive. I needed to get him out of the rubble and looked him over as soon as possible. I sat the flashlight down and started lifting rubble off his body. But not even a minute had passed when a muffled rustling came from the corridor, and a lynx scurried into the kitchen. The noise must have drawn its attention when I was clearing the blockage in the stairway. The lynx had definitely been imposed to radiation. It was unnaturally large, and it had green swelling and the bald spots of its body. Alright, let's battle it out! The lynx looked at me appraisingly. Then it turned toward Gena and dropped closer to the ground. I'm holding a gun, and the lynx doesn't even see me as a threat. This isn't the first time I've seen this. A predator exposed to radiation seemed to have lost all fear. They're like rabid dogs. The instinct for self-preservation have been suppressed. Now their primary instinct is hunger. Let's shoot the lynx. I want to battle him out. Let's go with the heavy boys. Alright. Anything else? Maybe a gun? Let's get that gun. Oh, he's not going to be that bad. Alright. Come get some. Let's stun him. And then shoot him down. And that's it? Oh, but that wasn't even that bad. I was all worried. When the lynx was dead, I dragged the heavy carcass into a corner and got back to work. Gena was mumbling something and weakly pushing away at the air with his hand. I shoved the largest piece aside and saw a sledgehammer. Strange. I got Gena out and gently carried him into the room and laid him on a small couch. Let's look over the kid. His left leg was only badly bruised, but his right shin bone was definitely broken. Gena wouldn't be walking for the next few months. He was a good-looking kid. He had an intelligent face, freckles, and was really young. No more than 16. I fashioned a splint for his leg. Gena's eyes opened slightly. Thirsty. Let's give the sick kid some water and food. Gena perked up a little after drinking some water. He even tried to eat something. Lie down and don't move, I told him. You're awfully energetic for somebody who's been trapped under the rubble for a day. Your right leg tells a different story, though, and you probably swallowed some radioactive dust. That sucks, Gena sighed. Will I be able to walk? Right now? No way. And in the future? Besides, you'll have to. Who will look after your mother, if not you? She sent you? She didn't send me. She asked me. Are you going to bring me to her? Don't you want to rest a little first? No, I'm sick of laying around. Alright, let's bring Gena to the Dula camp. How are you feeling? I asked when we were out of the city. Gena didn't answer me. He was lost in his own thoughts, unpleasant ones. Judging by his grimace, I sighed. You should be thrilled to be alive and thanking your lucky stars. You had every chance of dying back there. Is that B already back at camp? Who are you talking about? Vanya? He came back. Why are you calling him a jerk? Because this is all his fault. His fault? Can you share a little more detail? Gena grimaced. Alright. In that apartment, we found a crate full of booze. Vanya said we should have celebrated. What was I supposed to do? My mom doesn't let me drink. You refused? Gena looked at me like I was crazy. Of course not. She won't find out. So we drank. We hung out. Then we started looking at other apartments in the building. They were all locked. Then Vanya remembered that the kitchen wall in the first apartment was all cracked. He said we could make a hole and crawl through into the apartment next door. He took a sledgehammer from the storeroom and started hitting the wall. Oh, okay. You couldn't come up with anything better than that? Gena continued. The wall held, but the ceiling started crumbling. I yelled at Vanya to stop, but he just kept hitting the wall over and over, like a psycho. I tried to take the sledgehammer, but he punched me, and he kept battering the wall. Gena squirmed. So the ceiling caved in. I was on the floor, in agony. I couldn't see anything, couldn't breathe through the dust. When I recovered a little, I noticed that Vanya was gone, along with our backpacks, and then there was a crashing noise on those stairs. The whole building was shaking. I thought I was done for. So that's what happened. What do you have to say about to that? Let's see here. How about Vanya shouldn't have abandoned you. He acted like the worst kind of jerk. That's it. Gena nodded suddenly. He didn't even check on me. And it was his idea in the first place. Oh. He didn't even check on me. And it was his idea in the first place to break through the wall. I told him it would end badly. We had entered a patch of fog. It became harder to make our way across the rough terrain, so the conversation was dropped. When Gena saw the lights of the camp in the distance, he suddenly asked to stop. What is it? I asked, nonplussed. I thought you wanted to go home. Home will still be waiting for me after I've done this. Do me a favor. Turn off into the grove and go along the path. There'll be a meadow after about 100 meters. What are you planning? I'll tell you when we get there. Come on. You don't mind, do you? Intrigued, I didn't argue. 5 minutes later, we emerged in a small meadow covered with fine dry grass. There was a pile of embers at the edge of the meadow, next to a fallen pine. We're here. Now tell me straight. What are we doing here? Help me out. Get out. Feel like going for a stroll all of a sudden? I've got a better idea. I'll take you to your mother, and after that you can walk around all you want. No, you don't understand. When they see me in the camp, it will be too late. I frowned. What will be too late? Gena thought for a while, and then gruffly asked, Can I borrow your gun? I scoffed. A gun? What do you need a gun for? You can either tell me what you have planned, or I'm taking you to Nadezha right now, and you can work out the rest on your own. You have to help me. I don't owe you anything. That's it. I'm done. We're going back to the camp. Gena grabbed my arm. Fine. I'll tell you. The thing is, there's somebody I want to talk to, right here, without any witnesses.
And with who?
Vanya.
Vanya is not here. Vanya's at the camp.
This is where I need you to help me. You have to go back to the camp and bring Vanya here. Tell him whatever you need to, and when he's here, we'll talk. Without witnesses.
How about it? All right. Let's say I'm willing to help you. How could I do it?
Great, Gena said eagerly. I'll tell you everything you need to do. You leave me here with the gun.
What do you need the gun for?
For protection. There are wolves in these woods. The irradiated ones are like rabid monsters. And just in case Vanya goes psycho on me.
I didn't like his tone, Gena continued.
Go to the camp. Tell Vanya that you saw some elk. Ask him to go hunting with you. He loves hunting. And so he'll definitely say yes. Bring him here and we'll talk things out. And settle things for good.
Hey, how come you don't want to tell your camp people what really happened? Vanya will get what's coming to him.
Are you kidding? Gena let out a low whistle. You think they'll punish him? Have you ever seen our camp? It's full of women. They'll yelp among themselves and get back to their business. And nobody will want to go up against Vanya.
Are they afraid of him?
Some of them are. But the other know they'll hold a grudge, take off for another camp, and that'll leave only 3 men in the whole settlement who will go out scavenging.
Gena, I understand that you want to get revenge, but you're not going to kill him. Are we clear? My words enraged him.
Stop treating me like a kid. You're just like them, a boneheaded babysitter. The only thing you can think of is to tell me to play nicely. But I understand things just fine. I wasn't born yesterday. Do you think it's funny that this bee left me there to die? Is that what you would have done?
Don't worry. He didn't even let me respond.
I'm not going to kill him. He'll see me with a gun and he'll piss his pants. That'll be enough for him.
I don't know, Gena. I don't know.
Hey, you already promised to help me. You gave me your word, so keep it.
Gena thought for a moment and then pointed at the fallen tree.
I'm going to wait for him there.
Help the kid get to the fallen pine. Gena sat down, grabbed onto a protruding branch, and tried to get comfortable.
That hurts.
What were you expecting? One leg's just a big contusion, the other has broken bone. You could stay here even if you had no legs at all. When I was sure that Gena wasn't going anywhere, I walked back.
Wait, the gun.
You know, this conversation will be a lot more productive without the gun.
Come on, you promised.
Gena protested. I never promised that I would give you a gun. Gena fell silent for a moment and then blurted out.
You're a.
Keep mouthing off and I'll leave you here for good.
You won't do it.
True. Your mother won't give me the information that I need. It'd be better if I dragged you to the camp by your ears. Want to find out how far a person can walk on a broken leg? Gena paled and didn't respond. All right, let's go to the camp. Whoa, look at that. He was in a good time. I tried not to meet anyone's eyes as I made my way to Vanya's house. I didn't want to answer any more questions. Vanya wasn't alone. A half-naked girl was brushing her hair, sitting on the corner of his bed. Vanya was lying under the blanket on his side, sipping liquor from a crystal glass. The girl blushed when I appeared, and she hastily put on a long sweater and left. Vanya didn't even seem to notice that she had left. Well, look at you, Vanya. You are a player, aren't you? Sleeping with all the girls in town? Huh. So that's why Gena didn't like you, huh? Didn't your mother never teach you to knock? Vanya asked, and poured himself another drink. I'm here for a reason. When I was on the way to Novomoskovsk, I saw some elk. Fresh meat wouldn't go amiss. My supplies are running low. Will you give me a hand with the hunt? Oh, you, go on. Vanya yawned. Look, Drifter, I'm relaxing here. I almost died along with Gena in Novomoskovsk, and I'm still freaked out by it, you know? So beat it. I remember we need a drink with him. That's what I remember. So let's do number 3. Relaxing is good. Aren't you going to offer me some food? You invited me, remember? I asked you here for a reason, Vanya smirked. I knew you'd change your mind. It's hard to get good booze these days. He retrieved a dusty glass from the nightstand, blew on it, and poured a generous splash of liquor into it. He placed a piece of dried perch on a napkin next to the glass. Take the glass. Have you tried this before, Zabrovska? I drink it in moderation. Vanya poured himself another. Like my dad used to. You can also get stuff made from rowan berries, but it's not as good without pickles on the side. Vanya sipped a drink and seemed to be thinking. What do you think of Lara? The girl who ran away. At first glance, she's nothing special, but she doesn't put on and act like some people. And I've got options. You know what I mean? What I meant to say to you. Listen while slowly sipping the liquor. After finishing 6 smutty stories, by my account, about his sexual exploits, Vanya set the glass down and settled back against the cushion. What are the poor girls supposed to do? Take offense? That'll be worse for them. I'm the only real man in the settlement. Gena's just a little kid, and the other old guys are... Well, shall we go hunting now? I asked innocently. If Vanya kept drinking, he'll be well and truly drunk soon. Now? But we're having fun hanging out here, Vanya complained. The elk are getting away while we sit here. The kid became lost in thought. Elk? Elk are good. Do you know how to shoot an elk so it goes down instantly? I'm sure you'll show me. Or are you not fit to go hunting? Vanya burped and then retrieved an old shotgun from underneath the bed. Does it matter? The elk won't wait around for me to sober up, he remarked. Go on to the hunt. As we made our way to the meadow where Gena was waiting for us, Vanya yammered on and on. He hadn't drunk enough to start slurring his words, but the alcohol was definitely affecting his mental faculties. Because of this, the sight of his shotgun provoked a dull sense of alarm in me. We're headed for the rabbit's meadow, Vanya asked in a business-like way as we were approaching our destination. Weird. I've never seen any big game there in my life. And then, instead of elk, he saw Gena. Vanya froze, gripping his shotgun. He threw me a crazed look. His eyes were slightly glazed from the alcohol. Hey, buddy! Oh, Gena greeted him with deliberation, friendliness. Thank you for bringing him, Gena continued, turning to me. Please, leave us alone now. I want to have a heart-to-heart with him. Gena, you're... Vanya had found his voice. Shut up, Gena snapped, looking antsy. Please, let us talk in private, he insisted, stressing every word. How about leave and come back to hide in the bush? I hid in the overgrown dark brown ivy that covered the dry and scraggly trunks and branches. I went about 20 meters, waited a short while, then crept soundly back to the meadow.
I could already make out snippets of what was being said. Are you kidding me? I was supposed to hang around until I got trapped too? What the hell were you thinking when you were hitting the wall with a sledgehammer? Hey, genius. Easy for you to say. Idiot. I almost died back there because of you. I can't walk now. Because of me? It was your idea. To poke about it that dang building. I crawled into the bushes. I was only 10 paces away from the two arguing boys. Twigs snapped as I moved, but Vanya and Gena didn't notice anything. They were standing 3 meters apart, both red-faced, agitated, looking like they were about to lunge at one another. Finally, Vanya yelled, "Why don't you just go to hell, huh? That's it. I'm done. Innocent victim, my ass. If I'd been trapped in that building, I would have got myself out. What? You don't think so?" You know what you are? Gena clenched his fist. You are just cowardly drunk. If you hadn't got so drunk, you wouldn't have started hammering the wall like a moron, and the collapse wouldn't have happened. You're drunk now, too. What? You don't think so? It disgusts me to look at you. Do you want to end up like your dad, huh? Vanya staggered as if he's been punched. He raised his shotgun. One more word and you're a dead man. Your hands are shaking, you drunk. Gena yelled in some kind of frenzy. How about come out of the bushes and tell Vanya to drop his weapon? Vanya ignored me. His index finger was already resting on the trigger. I had to make a split-second decision. If you kill Gena, you're a dead man. Miss, and you're still a dead man. Choose. Your hands are really shaking, and I'm better armed than you. He gritted his teeth and slowly lowered the gun. Now, let's all talk about this peacefully. Peacefully? Gena spat. Peacefully? Do you understand what this son of a did? He'll answer for that, but let the camp decide his fate. You don't want vigilante justice. They won't do anything to him, Gena replied bitterly. Vanya, honey, promise you won't do that again? Never again, forgive me. I'm so ashamed. That's what the justice will look like. Then I have another idea. Why not send him out onto the wasteland? If he survives, fine. But if he doesn't, that will be his punishment. Are you joking? Vanya looked at me like I was an idiot. The wasteland? I'm not going anywhere. I pulled out my gun. You either leave right now, or I put a bullet in your brain. I've killed people before. My hands won't shake. And Gena won't mind, right? Vanya's hands, which were gripping the shotgun, started to shake. He looked between me and Gena and back again. I'll remember you, Drifter, he gritted out at last. I'll track you down, and when you go to sleep, I'm going to kill you. Agreed, I replied. You say you didn't have time to check if Gena was alive, but you make sure to grab his backpack with the booze inside. So you just get out of here and don't come back. Let's wait for Vanya to leave. He'll be back, Gena doubtfully. Sooner or later. Then I'll come back too and finish things. But he won't last long in the wasteland. Without gear, provisions, with virtually no ammunition, he'll be got by predators before he ever reaches another settlement. Right? Enough chatting. Your mom's waiting for you. Let's not drag it out for her. I not only saved the kid, I stopped him from becoming a murderer. I think I've done everything right here. Alright, let's go to Gena's camp. And what will happen when people realize that Vanya is missing? Gena asked me on the way. You don't know anything. I don't know anything. Nobody saw us leave together. They'll guess that Vanya went hunting and the wolves got him. And even if somebody did see us with him, I won't be in the camp by then. The camp inhabitants saw Gena and abandoned their chores, rushing forward to embrace him in masses. I stood aside to wait. Helped Gena get to Nadezha's house. Nadezha was standing in the doorway. To get to her house, I could tell by her face that she couldn't believe that her son had survived. Only when I lowered Gena onto the mattress did she fall upon his chest, sobbing. "Mom, don't cry. It's okay," Gena begged, trying to console Nadezha, but she just kept crying harder. Gena looked at me and made a helpless gesture. "Looks like I'll have to wait a little longer." "I'm sorry. Forgive me, please. I still haven't thanked you. When I saw my boy alive, I sensed you just left me." "Don't worry," I said with a smile. "I understand. You thought he was..." "Yes, I thought we all thought it, but..." Nadezha brought a handkerchief to her nose. But when you went to get him in Novomoskovsk for a second, I dared to imagine you bringing him home alive, just for a second. And when I finally saw him alive, thank you. Thank you." "Luckily, I found him quickly. It could have been too late if I'd been a few hours later. I think he would have died of dehydration." Gena had a rough time. Let's leave him to sleep in... Gena had a rough time. "Let's leave him to sleep in peace," Nadezha said to me. We went out into the yard. "You want to give me some information?" I recall. "Ask me your questions. Go ahead." "Yes, I want to find out what happened to your husband." "What happened to Andre?" Nadezha's expression shifted. "What is it that you want to know?" "Nadezha, you see, I'm trying to find out the truth about what happened back then. The epidemic, the nuclear war." "I understand what you mean. How could Andre be involved in that? He died long before the epidemic broke out." "Dead?" "He was executed by a firing squad." Nadezha closed her eyes. It was obvious that the memory still caused her great pain. "They charged him with treason, found him guilty, and they killed him." "Can you tell me more about it?" "I'm afraid I can't. I don't know any more details. It was all classified. The investigation, the trials. I wasn't even allowed to see Andre. I know he was arrested at the institute where he worked. I received a letter from the investigator. He said that Andre had been arrested. He was charged with collaboration with the USA, and that the trial was in a week. In a week's time, it was closed hearing. The investigative committee wouldn't even allow family members to be present. I traveled to Moscow. I tried to get in to see the investigator, but he refused to speak to me. He just said that the case was cut and dried. There were witness, evidence. Your husband, he said, cut a deal with the West. He handed over important information." Nadezha let out a sob. "At first I didn't believe it, but Andre had changed recently. He stopped coming back home on the weekends. He never talked about his work, and he never picked up the phone if I called him in the evening." "And you don't know anything more?" "No, that's it. There was something else I didn't want to know. I was like a bolt from the blue. My Andre, a traitor to the motherland. I couldn't get over it. But my only concern was that Gena would never find out." "You don't know what happened? You don't happen to have anything written by your husband? Notebooks? Diary?" "We had nothing like that at home. But his room in Moscow, I don't know. The KGB turned the apartment upside down. They took everything they could, and after, I heard that when Moscow was bombed, a fire broke out, and the whole district burned." "Fair enough." Nadezha was waiting for my next question, but I just stood there, stunned. I certainly had learned something new. But what now? Where should I go? What should I look for? Even if something in the apartment had been missed by the KGB,
it would have been lost in the fire that followed. Was I going to have to go back and search the Institute of Virology again? Nadezha, you don't happen to remember the investigator's last name, do you? The investigator's surname? No. I'm sorry, I don't remember. Then maybe you know something about your husband's colleagues? Well, I know Georgy Nazarov. He was basically the head of their lab. A good man. He invited us to his house for tea, but when I went to Moscow to visit Andrei, I saw Shashkov a couple of times too. And this Shashkov, what do you know about him? I know his first name, Leonid. He and Andrei was old friends from school, but he never visited our home. I saw him at Andrei's birthday party, and then we went to his home once. Well, it wasn't his. It was his sister, Larissa. And do you remember where Shashkov's sisters live? In Oriol. It was a new housing development. I'll give you the address. I don't even know why I remembered it. Well, thanks. I suppose I have to go to Oriol now. All right, we got the battery flashlight. Safe travel then, Nadezha said, smiling at me. Thank you for helping an old woman. Gena is the only good thing I've had left in this life, and you brought him back to me. Even though I never thought I'd see my son alive again, you're a good man, and I believe that everything is going to work out for you. Thank you for your kind words and your help. Oh wait, I have something for you. Nadezha ran into the house and returned quickly. Here, take it. It's worth nothing compared to my son's life, but I hope you'll find it useful. Thank you. Goodbye. That's not all. Nadezha winked at me. Gena said that he wanted to thank you too. Come inside for a minute. I went back into the house. Gena asked me to sit down beside him. All right, we got the vintage lighter. I don't know if I said this already, but thank you for getting me out. Gena gripped my hand. And for helping me with Vanya. Yeah, your meeting with Vanya could have ended very badly. I even have a reward for you. Gena said cheerfully. It's beside the table. Thank you. I hope you get better soon. I'll come back for a visit if I can. After my conversation with Nadezha, I was completely worn out, but never again. But never mind. Looks like I'm heading to Oriol. And what? What were the chances that I would find anything useful in Shashkov's sister's house? A sister's I'm not even certain he was close to. And then an unexpected thought crept into my mind. Could there be a connection between Andrei Kugelik's betrayal and the epidemic that started simultaneously across the entire country? And if there is a connection, what is it? I reread the telegram from Novgorod's suicide again. They are. No. While there's even the smallest chance of success, I'm going to keep moving forward. Alright, so I think we are done with that. We are going to Oriol. That's kind of far west. Alright guys, that was a long video. But thank you guys for coming along with me to our successful quest to rescue Gena. Alright guys, see you guys next time. Don't forget to leave that like, comment, or subscribe for some more content of They Are Survival Online. I'll see you guys next time.